I think we just hit our 17th successful funded round. So usually what happens is the project will reach out to us. They'll say, I'm looking into doing a campaign.
Welcome to a brand new podcast episode. My name is Alex, and today we have a podcast with the CEO of two companies. The first one is Funded, a crowdfunding platform native to the internet computer blockchain, and the second one is Plug Wallet, the most widely used crypto wallet in the ICP ecosystem. Without further ado, let's jump into the conversation with Luke. Welcome to the show. It's really nice to have you here. It's been almost 1 year since we've had you on the show, so how's it going?
Crazy, a year ago. Everything's going great. We're just, so much going on, so much new stuff happening, exciting times. And I think it's going to be a wild ride for the next year or two. So, yeah.
A lot of things have happened, and we will go into those. First of all, for the new people watching, can you tell us a little bit more about you before you began your journey in Web3?
My expertise was in payments industry. I worked in payment software for a little bit. And I started a company that did payment data, so using open banking to trace payment data and sell that. And we sold that business in 2021. I sold that company, and that was right at the point of Genesis. So starting to get excited about new industries, new fields, and DFINITY just sort of fell into my lap at that moment, and I got really, really excited about it, and that was the start of my journey in ICP.
I think it's really nice and very underestimated or understated how important it is to have a builder that has had a previous experience with building a real business into the ecosystem. So I think it's very valuable to have you here on the Internet Computer.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
How did you find out about ICP, and why did you decide to build your business here on ICP instead of going anywhere else?
So I found out about it in the papers, actually. It was a brand new project that was being launched, and the whole concept was to create a rival to AWS. They would use blockchain-based cloud computing to provide a new sort of infrastructure for a blockchain-based internet. I mean, what could be more exciting? I just thought this is the dreamland for any kind of developer that's making consumer-based applications, especially in the world of payments. But this goes way beyond payments as well. It's end-to-end, full-stack web hosting on-chain, and it's super cheap, it's super fast, has DAO functionality inbuilt, interoperable with HTTPS outcalls, interoperable with Bitcoin and with ETH soon. So it just couldn't be more exciting, and immediately fell in love with it. And then I started to report on ICP. So I started out kind of looking into all the different dApps and projects that are being built on ICP and doing kind of reporting and writing some articles about that. Once it became clear that there was going to be such a sort of ecosystem and crazy variety of dApps being built on this platform, I thought that a really good product that is missing is a crowdfunding service or a crowdfunding platform that can help all of these dApps and projects raise funds for themselves. So I started this crowdfunding platform. At the time, it was called Crowdfund NFT. I think that was last time I was on the podcast. We've rebranded to Funded, and it's going really well. It's been really exciting to see all the different dApps going through a crowdfunding campaign and successfully funding themselves. So it's been quite amazing. And the reason why I decided to build this on ICP, I mean, in part, I was already in the ecosystem and kind of, excited about it, but there's a lot of reasons why we couldn't build Funded on other platforms. Primarily, it comes down to the reverse gas model. The internet computer operates on a reverse gas model, which means that the developers pay the fees, and for users, it's free at the point of use. And because transactions are extremely cheap, it means that we can operate a crowdfunding model that has inbuilt reimbursements in smart contracts. So in our crowdfunding model, either you hit your goal, your campaign goal, in which case you can get access to your funds, or you don't hit your goal, in which case everybody is reimbursed. And this is all automated, smart contract-based crowdfunding. If there were gas fees, let's say we were building this on Ethereum, people would have to pay up front to launch the smart contract, first of all. Then they would have to pay gas fees in order to participate in the smart contract. And if they were to be reimbursed, we would have to pay gas fees to reimburse them. So by the time all of that's happened, you're probably only receiving a partial refund and not a full refund. So just one example, and there's many other reasons why, but one small example of why we could build this on ICP and nowhere else.
That's completely right. People don't like to look at it right now because of the past price action, and they dismiss all the innovations that they came with. And I think it's unfair, but they will be paying attention once it catches up steam, and then they will think, it was obvious that this was such a great blockchain to begin with. It's been around a year since we've had you here on our podcast, and as you mentioned, the company was called Crowdfund NFT. You rebranded it to Funded.com. Why is the reason you did that, and what are some achievements that you guys have made this far?
Well, the feedback we received from Crowdfund NFT was that it was very obvious what it meant. I mean, the clues in the name, right? But it's maybe a bit too kind of focuses too much on the NFT aspect. It makes it seem a bit like a launch pad, like an NFT platform or launch pad or something, when really it's more about the crowdfunding. NFTs are just the way that we create rewards within the crowdfunding platform. We're not an NFT launchpad essentially, and that's some of the feedback we were receiving, especially from outside ICP. So we've integrated Bitcoin and Ethereum into the crowdfunding platform now, so people can do crowdfunding rounds in Bitcoin and in ETH. So we're expanding beyond the ICP community, or at least we are going to a little bit, or offer that solution to other ecosystems as well. And they were saying the same thing. They were saying, like, it must be some sort of NFT launchpad. We don't really fully understand it. Like, what's the main? Whereas Funded is pretty universal, pretty clear. Also a lot cleaner, let's be honest. I think it's just a better name.
It is a better name. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It is.
So I think the team was just sort of excited about it, and we went through a whole redesign of our logo, redesign of the platform. It felt like the right time to do it, and it's been a real success. The rebrand, everybody loves it.
How many projects have you guys funded to date, like approximately?
I think we just hit our 17th successful funded round. This was a couple of days ago. Querio just got successfully funded, so that'll be our 17th project, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And are the projects that are launching usually like NFTs, or actual projects like companies that you guys are funding? And by the way, congratulations for the 17 projects that you've funded.
Right now, it's almost all of them are projects, dApps. So Querio, the latest one, is a search engine on ICP. We've seen another search engine, Kinnick, which launched their crowdfunding campaign about a year ago as well. And they just launched their SNS. So it's been sort of really interesting to see their journey from crowdfunding to SNS. So that's another search engine. We've got Sears, which is a ICP-based Twitter and prediction markets platform. Their campaign is currently live. We've seen Tracks, music platform, and sort of the pipeline. The new projects that are coming up are also just real dApps with real functionality and use cases.
Can you run me through the steps of a project wanting to do a fundraising through Funded?
Yeah, absolutely. So usually what happens is the project will reach out to us. They'll say, I'm looking into doing a campaign. We kind of get on a call with them. It's not mandatory, obviously, but we usually get on a call with them and sort of explore what they're doing, what stage of development they're at, whether it's the right time to do a crowdfunding campaign, what size of campaign are they trying to do, how much are they trying to raise, et cetera, and what kind of rewards can they offer to crowdfund participants. So we try and sort of advise a lot of our companies. So basically just reach out to us. We'll get on the phone with you straight away. dApps will submit their crowdfunding round straight on the platform. You can just go on Funded.app, click submit a crowdfund, and it'll have all the info that you need to give us in order to get your crowdfunding campaign up and running. It is just there for you to give. Once that's done, we require that the project creators go through a KYC process. So basic information about themselves and identification information. And then once we're happy with that, what we recommend is that we announce the project is going live soon. It's public for people to view on the website. The dApp can start sharing it with their community and all of that. But it doesn't go live until 7 days later. So we usually recommend 7 days. Sometimes project creators want to make it more, sometimes less. But usually we recommend 7 days between the moment when we announce the project and public on our website and the moment where people can actually start participating in the campaign. And then once it's live, there's a 2-hour window that's exclusive to crowdfunding NFT holders. So they can participate first in any project that's launched on the platform. And then after that, it's in public release and anybody can come and participate in the crowdfunding campaign.
So it's really straightforward. Is there a way for Funded to enforce the projects to stay on track or do their thing?
So this is something that happens on all crowdfunding platforms. So we've based our approach to this largely on what Kickstarter does and GoFundMe and others. The basic agreement that project creators and participants get in when we launch these rounds is the project creators have to promise to do as much as they can to try and commit to the rewards that they're delivering to participants in their crowdfunding campaign. So sometimes they run into things that set them back. Maybe it takes longer than they promised. Maybe it comes in a slightly different flavor or a slightly different form, but they still try their best to give some rewards to the participants. In a scenario where they don't, and it's sort of a fraudulent scenario or a rug pull, then we are in a position to pursue legal action against the project creators. And we, as a platform, help in the pursuit of any legal action should that be of interest. And that's why we collect KYC information in a scenario where there is a rug pull or
it's good because there is another layer of protection for the investor, and I think it's great. So there is the KYC that you guys get to know the persons who want to do a funding round, and then God forbid something happened, you guys have options, which is great.
The second thing that we do is we filter quite well the projects that get launched on Funded. I mean, anybody's allowed to launch a project on the Funded platform as long as it's legal. So we check that it's legal, and we just try and make sure that it's not a total fraud and a total rug pull. And if it is, and we've seen some of those cases, we actually remove the campaign, which we've done once before in the past year.
I'm not trying to make you sound like the Web3 police, so I'm not implying that, but it's very good that you do your due diligence for the investors. I want to ask you, because I know you guys have participated in Supernova Hackathon 2022 and you won, and I wanted to congratulate you because I believe you were one of the only ones who actually delivered the pitch live and in exactly 5 minutes, and everything you wanted to say, you managed to condense that into 5 minutes. So congratulations for that. You're an amazing speaker.
Thank you.
Really great job. I want to talk about your experience in the Supernova Hackathon. Like, how was it for you?
Great. I mean, I loved it. I think often about the projects that we saw during Supernova Hackathon, the projects that came out of that. I mean, you think of Kinnick, you think of Carbon Crowd, you think of Spinner Cash, Cubetopia came out. They won as well, which they won their category. I can't remember the gaming, I guess.
Gaming category.
So it was just really cool to see all the different projects getting launched. And once people get a taste for ICP, the stuff that they come up with, it's so broad, so varied. There's so many different things that people come up with, and the hackathon was a great example of that. My experience was fantastic. I mean, it was just great. It's true that condensing everything into 5 minutes was it was harder than maybe I made it look, because we were rehearsing a lot, making sure we nailed that. But I think actually you can see the videos online. I would recommend everybody to go and check those out and check, like I said, Cubetopia, Kinnick, Spinner Cash, Carbon Crowd.
Absolutely. We will link them in the video description. Let's talk a little bit about Plug Wallet. What's the story behind you acquiring? Because you're now the CEO of Funded and of Plug Wallet. So what's the story behind it?
Essentially, Psychedelic, the team that originally founded Plug, and they raised, I think, like $25 million to go build one of their products out independently, which is Fleek. So they went and did that, which is amazing for them and super happy for them. That meant that they had to drop a lot of their ICP-based products, including Plug Wallets. Plug Wallet's the largest wallet on ICP. It's the one with the most users. It's been around since the beginning. So It's actually quite a big deal, and it's also a place where people hold all of their assets, all of their NFTs, all of their tokens. So having Plug Wallet die would be a real problem. So they started looking into teams that could take over Plug Wallets, and I think there were a few teams that were interested, and I was very, very interested. So originally, I had actually come up with this idea to build my own wallets. I think we were going to call it Ice Wallet, but never came to be, because in the end, I spoke to Harrison, spoke to the psychedelic team, and sort of made the case for what I thought the direction for Plug should be and where we should take it. And I guess it sort of resonated at least a little, because they handed it over to us. So we were really, really excited about that. I think that happened in February, the official takeover. And there's so much you can do with the wallets. There's so much you can explore with the wallets, especially on ICP. So just too many ideas and not enough time to get it all done. But over time, we'll get there.
I believe everybody has at least one Plug wallet. So
they do. I mean, there's a few reasons. The first is it was the first wallet that was out on ICP, which makes a massive difference. Second is it's been supporting NFTs from the very beginning, and that's like the main use case. And also, it's very, very easy for dApps to integrate Plug wallets into their platform. So most ICP dApps, if not all, will have Plug wallet integrated, and that also has massive advantages in terms of the number of users that are onboarded to Plug.
You guys ran a funding round for Plug, which was unfortunately unsuccessful. What other options to fund the operation cost of the company are you thinking of? Are you thinking of applying for a DFINITY grant, an SNS launch? What's the plan?
It's an interesting one. So we launched our crowdfunding campaign just over a month ago, I guess. And I think we just aimed too high, right? We tried to raise 23,000 ICP, roughly speaking. And I think in the end, we raised 16,000, just upwards of 16,000 ICP. It was a good result, it was a great result, but I think we underestimated the bear market that we're in right now, and how a lot of people were messaging me saying, I would really love to participate. I want to participate, but I just don't have funds. There's nothing left in my account, which is completely fair enough, So I think that's kind of what happened with our round in the end. And I suspect that we'll relaunch some sort of funded campaign again, maybe lower our goal or do it at a different time when it's a bit, there's a bit more sort of liquidity in ICP. So that might be what we try and do. I think that is what we're going to try and do. We've also seen quite a few VCs reach out to us since the crowdfunding campaign, which is quite funny. I think we're going to explore those options as well. And an SNS launch, we have thought about it, and we're thinking very carefully about the SNS and whether we do an SNS. And I think in the end we probably will, but it won't be for a while. I think that there's I like to call it the trifecta. There's a decentralization, then there's governance, and then there's kind of producing results or development. And kind of you can have two at once very heavily. You can't have all three at once. It's sort of I can't remember where I read this on Twitter somewhere. And I just think we have so many features to input into the wallet, so much to build with the wallet. We can't be messing around with sort of opaque governance mechanisms and structures. And I want to allow the community to vote on what Plug is building and how it's building it. But later down the line, when all the obvious stuff has already been built, the too much in the backlog to have people start voting on what we should and shouldn't do. There's so many things that we just need to get done straight out the gate. So maybe we will do an SNS. I think we will in the end, but it'll be a few months or probably maybe a year away is what I suspect. We'll see.
So you need the power to decide what's best for the company, and only then open it up for people to vote on less important aspects once the company is running.
It's not so much like less important aspects, it's aspects that matter at scale, I think if Facebook or Twitter was to do an SNS now, which obviously, that would be the dream, but you imagine a scenario where that could happen, because there's millions and millions and millions of users, and it's sort of at scale. The results that would come out of governance voting would be intelligent and interesting, and it wouldn't necessarily be about sort of nitty gritty features like a like function or a share function. It would be more like big picture stuff, direction of how do they deal with content moderation or something like that. So I think that would be very interesting. But if you have a situation where Plug is still quite like a low user base, even if it's the largest one in ICP, it's still quite small in terms of the user numbers. And so many features just to get done quickly. We need a mobile app. We need swaps in mobile app. We need on-ramping features in the mobile app. We need CKBTC swap. We need wallet connect, mobile authentication, all of this stuff. So the list is obvious. We don't need to vote because I know what we need to do. We just need to go get it done. And once we've done that, we can open it up for sort of the bigger questions, the larger debates, and also for ownership purposes as well, which is what most people really watch fundamentally. If you look at some of the SNS launches that have happened so far, I think that there's a little bit of indecision. Basically, it's kind of like you've got these funds in the treasury, and you've got this DApp or projects that's now under DAO governance, and it's kind of like if you hang out in some of their Discord channels and stuff, which I do, you'll find that they don't really seem to go one way or another because the community disagrees on what even the product should be, whereas in my case, it's kind of like, well, this is what the product is. And now you can vote on what you want to do with it, but we're not going to vote on what the product should be. You know what I mean? That kind of, I just think a lot of these SNS launches maybe are happening a little bit too early, is my suspicion. And it's great because it gives the community ownership of that product, which is fantastic, and I'm all about that. But it comes at the price of maybe development and quick development within the product. So that's the balance.
Can you please tell me a few of the things that you managed to get done since acquiring Plug? What new features you guys implemented?
So the first big one that we wanted was swaps. It's a massive part of any wallet is to be able to swap tokens. So we've integrated swaps. I think the swap pairs that are live now, basically it's any ICP to ICRC1 token. So we have ICP to Kinnick, ICP to SNS1 or Dragon now, ICP to OpenChat, ICP to CKBTC, OT, Oracle token, OG is another one. So we've integrated swaps, which is fantastic. And now all of the new pairs that are listed, the big ones at least, are going to be integrated into the Plug wallets for swapping. So that's worked really well. We've also done on-ramping. So we partnered up with Coinbase and partnered up with OnRamp, which is it's basically a Coinbase Pay, but for emerging markets, and especially India. So anybody can now just come in and buy ICP straight away, and it'll get deposited in your Plug wallet, which is really fantastic. We've done Bitcoin integration. So you can come into Plug, deposit Bitcoin, it will get minted as CKBTC into your Plug wallet, and then you can use CKBTC in the ecosystem however you please. And if you want to take it out, you can withdraw the CKBTC, and it goes, and you can decide whether you want it on in Bitcoin network, so just regular BTC. So basically, you can come in, deposit native BTC, it comes in as CKBTC, and if you want to leave it, then you just swap it back for native. So we've done that. And then mobile authentication, which has been a big one. We've kind of been struggling with it because we launched the first version of it, I think like a month ago, maybe a bit more. But it's worked, but there's been trouble with the App Store. So we're doing a new version of mobile authentication soon. And our big focus next is mobile app. So that's what we're doing right now. And we're hoping to have all of these features in the mobile app in the next version that we release.
Do you have a time horizon on when the mobile app is going to be live?
From a development perspective, it's almost there. I mean, it's basically ready, but there's some paperwork concerns. Like, for example, to have swaps in a mobile app, we need to show that we're allowed to operate as a swap service to the Apple Store. So quite a lot of legal barriers that we're getting through. We're crossing those, and that might take a little more time. So I'm hoping that you'll see the new version of the mobile app by, I'm going to mid-July, end of July is sort of the limit.
So it's safe to say that Plug is not going on anywhere but up. So it's never going to disappear. It's going to grow.
Well, look, I'm going nowhere. So I'm here to stay. I've been in ICP since Genesis, and I'm going nowhere. So it's funded, it's Plug. I work with other companies on the IC to help them out with some of their infrastructure. And I think I'll be around for a long time.
Absolutely. By the next bull run, supposing it's going to be by 2025, what are the plans for Funded and what are the plans for Plug?
I want to be ready. I think we need to be ready for the next bull run. And that means everything is built, and then when the bull run hits its scale, because it's going to happen so quick when it happens that you're not going to have time to do much building. You're just going to have time to be scaling. So funded platform, we've got funded in crowdfunding rounds in Bitcoin, crowdfunding rounds in ICP, crowdfunding rounds in Ethereum. Same for CK ETH and CK Bitcoin as well. Then we're doing, so we currently have the funded platform working with NFTs as a reward for crowdfund participants. We're also going to be launching crowdfunding for token releases. So that's going to be happening on the funded platform before the next bull run, hopefully. And that also has some legal implications. So we're working on the legalities for that, but that should be okay. So that's what we're doing with funded. We're also doing SNS participation. So people will be able to participate in SNS sales through the funded platform. As for Plug, like I say, big focus on swaps, big focus on mobile app. We want to integrate smart contracts wallets so that we can have multi-sig functionality. We're also doing cold wallets is a better way of putting it. So we're working with a card provider. I don't think I can actually say, so I'll keep it quiet for now until it's announced. But we are working to do a cold wallet version of Plug. Like I say, smart contract based wallet. So we want to do multi-sig functionality. We want to do borrowing and lending protocols with collateral straight within the wallets. I want to have access to all the possible tokens. So CKE integration is something we're doing very soon. TK-BTC already done. I want it to be available on all possible platforms: Android, Apple, Chrome extension, Firefox extension, Brave extension. I also want it to have like its own native ICP-based DApp extension in case something ever goes wrong with Chrome or with Apple. We don't want to be dependent on them, so we're going to have a desktop version of Plug that's its front end is hosted on ICP as well. That's more of an emergency concern. Security is a massive one that we're going to be taking very, very seriously with Plug. And just making it like the best wallet for dApps to integrate into their platform is kind of my main focus, because if it has everything that dApps needed to have for their users, then we're going to create the best things for those users as well. And that means having access to all possible tokens as easily as possible, having access to buy ICP or convert to ICP as easily as possible, connecting and authenticating to dApps as safely and securely as possible, whether it's on mobile, whether it's on desktop, whatever it is. So that's my focus for Plug, and we're getting there. We're pretty close. So I think we are going to be ready for the next bull market, actually. And it makes me very excited to say that, because it's been a long journey. I've been building for just over a year on ICP now. And that's sort of what we say to ourselves in the team a lot is we're getting ready for the bull market, and it's going to come. And when it comes, it's going to happen so quickly that we're not going to be able to build much more. You can tweak and can adjust, but you can't build a lot from scratch because they're not going to, speed is going to be too quick. So
you got me really excited with what you said about both Funded and Plug. I think you're doing an amazing job, as I said previously in this interview. So totally, I am looking forward to see what you will do in this space.
Thank you very much. That's very nice of you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for making it to this interview. For the people watching, it is Saturday today. So to have the CEO of two companies be available on a Saturday, I think this speaks a lot on how dedicated you are to those two businesses. So thank you very much for talking to us.
Of course. Thank you, Alex. I love the podcast. Keep it going.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Bye.